Hi there, I'm Kyle MacLachlan, and this is my Us Weekly cover story. It's going to be good, I promise. It's very special to be someone that people still look to, return to, watch. I mean, that's what we do. I've been so fortunate that I've been involved in some really iconic shows that people just love in general. Sex and the City, of course, Twin Peaks, Desperate Housewives, How I Met Your Mother. These are all shows that still resonate with an older generation and also with a younger generation. So it's really fun to be able to cross-pollinate, I guess. I've definitely grown alongside my fans. I think growing up in my early part of my career, had some really wonderful success and some challenges along the way, as everyone does. But I've become more comfortable, I think, with roles that I've done that people have embraced, that maybe in the past I would have gone, okay, I did that, but I'm so much more than that, you know, don't just discount me because of this, or don't make this the thing that you remember me for. And as I've gotten older, I realized, you know what, embrace that, you know, because why not? And I'm still here and I'm still doing what I love to do. And the fact that fans remember me for certain things, different types of things, is really wonderful because, you know what, I'm a fan. And I have my favorite actors. Mm-hmm. And I remember performances that they did that I occasionally will bring up if I see them. I'm thinking about Jeff Goldblum in Buckaroo Banzai. And I mean, one of my all-time great performances, and I bring it up and he laughs. It was so long ago, but he remembers it with such fondness. And I try to bring that when people come to me about certain things that they really loved me doing. So it's a couple, Twin Peaks is really popular. Dale Cooper, of course, and was such a wonderful, wonderful character and experience in working with my dear friend David. So that's very special. Sex and the City is always around just because it was so groundbreaking at the time. Such a wonderful crew and cast. Working with Kristen Davis was amazing. And then alongside that, Desperate Housewives, really people respond to that as well. Yeah. So those shows have really stood the test of time. And then a brief foray into single camera, which was on How I Met Your Mother. Actually, it wasn't single camera, it was 3 camera. But How I Met Your Mother and playing the captain. Such a great role and so much fun and just a pleasure. So people have different things that they respond to. It's always interesting. It's always curious, and I love seeing their faces. They're always big smiles. Yeah. So I would first start by saying these are things I strive for, and they, you know, sometimes you're more successful than others, but I really try to lead with kindness first. Not always successful, but that's what I try to do. I try to connect as much as I can with a person, and I try not to judge, because I don't know what their day was, what an hour was before, or a day before, what they've grown up. I don't know anything really about them when I meet someone. So I come in and I say, I'm putting my best, effort forward, and they're trying to do their best too, but I don't know anything about their past, you know what I mean? So I just try to be non-judgmental. So kindness, non-judgmental. I like to have fun a little bit, I like to tease a little bit. Sometimes I misjudge the situation, but I like to make people feel at ease, and I also like to make them feel like they are comfortable enough to be able to tease me back a little bit. Yeah. So I love that dynamic. So those are like 3 ideas, I guess, about when I'm with someone or meet someone. The rest of the time is I can try to get as much sleep as I can, but I fail miserably. Being a father is completely transforms a person, I think. And it's a wonderful journey because you have no idea before you're a father what you're about to embark on. And it is challenging, rewarding, frustrating at times, such a proud dad. It's so fun to have been on this journey because 2 things happen. One is I begin to examine and remember my relationship with my father during this time and these periods. And then I start thinking in terms of his relationship with his father when he was this age and what I know about that relationship. And then I think again about how Callum is going to carry forward and that I'm kind of I'm not his mentor in this, but I'm his example, I guess, of fathering. You know what I mean? So he will carry that with him. So all of those kind of things dovetail, and you know, it's very interesting. You know, but the heart of it is just this tremendous love that you have for this child, and how much you want them to succeed, but really to become their best selves.
Yeah.
So it's really about trying to nurture that. They're going to be who they're going to be, and I'm just there to make sure that I can offer any kind of help along the way, you know. And my wife, I think, feels the same way. So I had done a podcast about something completely different with a friend a couple of years back called Varnum Town, and it was met with a lot of positive response. And so we were like, you know, podcast would be really interesting. What can we do? And I was like, well, and all sorts of ideas were floating around. And finally, we kind of narrowed it down to this idea of talking to a younger generation and bringing some of my input in and discovering about them and how they use social and their creative process and everything, which was interesting to me. And then I think one of my team just said, we're just like, well, what are we even doing? You know what I mean? It was one of those. And I said, yeah, you're right. What are we even doing? Because it's kind of hard to explain. And we said, oh, I think that's the title. And we just called it, What Are We Even Doing? And we're sort of on the journey to try to figure that out. Because the creative process, as you know, is all over the place. You know, there's really no way to define what you're doing. You just know you're creating something, you're on this journey. It's coming from a deep place, you know. It's joyful and expressive, obviously, and fulfilling. And it's like, well, let's talk about what that is for each person, and particularly Gen Z and young millennial, because these are people that we don't, they're alien creatures, you know what I mean? So we have to understand what's happening, and as opposed to sort of just kind of, you know, disregarding, I'm like, no, I need to embrace this. I want to embrace this.